Hi class, welcome back. So this is the video where I'm going to show you how to work out the problems that were assigned from your textbook from lesson 90. Okay, so make sure that you've completed the work for these problems before you watch the video. Okay, and once that is complete, then you can keep watching this to see how these different problems were worked out step by step. Okay, our first one was number 3. Number 3 said 15 out of 25 students were boys. So what percent were boys? Okay, so I wrote it as a fraction, 15 out of 25. Okay, but then they told me that they wanted to go to percent. Well, I know that a percent is a fraction with 100 as the denominator. So I said, well, it's easy to go from 25 to 100 if I multiply by 4. So 25 times 4 is 100, so I got to do the same thing on top. 15 times 4 is 60. Now I know that if I have a fraction and the denominator is 100, then the top number is my percent. So that means 60% for boys. Okay? The next one is number 4. We have the triangular prism there. They ask how many more edges than vertices are there. Okay? Remember, edges are where the faces meet. Vertices are the corners. So in this shape, there were 9 edges. I take away the 6 vertices. There were 3 more edges than vertices. Okay, the next one, the teacher cuts out a 12-inch diameter circle. Okay, so the circle's 12 inches in diameter. That means the radius is 6 inches. Then they ask us for the area. So make sure that you are memorizing your formula for area of a circle. Area is pi times r squared. Okay, r in this case is 6. 6 inches times 6 inches gives me 36 inches squared. I'm going to multiply that times pi. And my final answer is 113.04 inches squared. 113 and 4/100 inches squared. The next one, number 8, asks us to find a missing factor. This tells us that the factor is going to be a mixed number. Okay? So when we have a missing factor, factors are numbers that are multiplied together to give us a product. I can take the product and divide by the factor that I know to find the factor I don't know. So I'm going to take 70 and divide it by 25. 25 will go into 72 times with 20 left over, 2, and 20 over 25. This reduces to 2 and 4/5. Okay? Now our next one is about the triangle. Okay? They give us this triangle, okay, and they ask us to find the area and the perimeter. If you don't have it memorized yet that the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, you need to memorize that. Okay? And remember, our base and our height have to form a right angle. Okay? So I'm going to use this for my base and this for my height because they form a right angle. 20 millimeters times 15 millimeters, and then divide by 2 gives me 150 millimeters squared. Now for perimeter, perimeter just means all the way around the outside. So I'm just going to add all my sides together, and I get 60 millimeters. Okay, number 13. It says in our book that Ollie was facing north. North is this way in this classroom. It's toward the back of the classroom. Okay? Says he turned 180 degrees to the left. That means he's facing south now. Okay? If you make a 180 degree turn, you're facing the opposite direction. So he's facing south now. Our next one is number 15. Number 15 is solving a proportion with a missing number. We know that if 2 fractions are equal, they form a proportion. And the nice thing about proportions is they also have equal cross products. So I'm going to multiply 12 times 20, and that has to be equal to 30 times n. Okay? 12 times 20 is 240. That has to be equal to 30 times n. Now this looks like when I have a missing factor. Okay? So now I can take my product and divide by the factor I know. 240 divided by 30 gives me 8. So n equals 8. Okay? Our next one is number 16. This is a division problem. 625 thousandths divided by 10. Okay? Now some of you know that if we're dividing by 10 and we have a decimal number, that means our decimal moves once to the left. So I can bump my decimal over here and have an answer of 0.0625 625 ten thousandths, okay? But some of you need to work it out. So this is how it's worked out. 625 thousandths divided by 10, bring my decimal up. 10 goes into 0, 0 times. 10 goes into 6, 0 times. 10 goes into 62, 6 times. Okay, subtract 60. I'm left with 2, bring down the 5. 10 goes into 25, 2 times. 10 times 2 is 20. 25 minus 20 is 5. I had to add another 0 to bring it down. 10 into 50 is 5 times. Okay, so our answer is 625 ten thousandths. Next one is number 17. Okay, the way number 17 is written looks like a fraction, 25 over 0.8. But remember, this is a fraction bar, but it's also a division bar. Okay, but make sure you're reading it correctly, top to bottom. 25 divide by 8 tenths. 25 divide by 8 tenths. Okay, I've got a decimal in my divisor, so I need to bump it to the right once to make it a whole number. That means the decimal here has to get bumped once. There's no decimal, so I put 1. I also put a 0 so I can move it. So now my new division problem is 250 divided by 8. 8 goes into 25 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. 25 minus 24 is 1. Bring down my 0. 8 into 10 is once. 8 times 1 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Hopefully you remember to put your decimal up immediately. I forgot. 8 into 20 is, whoops, I added a 0. 8 into 20 is 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. 20 minus 16 is 4. I had to add another 0. 8 into 40 is 5. And now I have no remainder. So the answer is 31 and 25 hundredths. Okay? Next. Number 17. We have some radicals now. Okay? Radical 144 minus radical 121. These are also known as square root symbols, remember? Square root of 144 minus the square root of 121. The square root of 144 is 12, because 12 times 12 is 144. The square root of 121 is 11, because 11 times 11 is 121. 12 minus 11 is 1. Okay, this is an order of operations problem. We started out with 10 plus 10 times 10 minus 10 divided by 10. Okay, remember, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division in order from left to right, addition and subtraction in order from left to right. I don't have any parentheses, I don't have any exponents, so I need to take care of multiplication and division from left to right. Well, I start at the left, as I move right, the first thing I hit is this multiplication, so I'm going to take care of it first. 10 times 10 is 100. I'm going to rewrite everything now. 10 plus 100 minus 10 divided by 10. Okay? So now I need to move from left to right. I hit a division. So I'm going to take care of this division. 10 divided by 10 is 1. I'm going to rewrite 10 plus 100 minus 1. Okay? Now I've taken care of my multiplication and division. Now I need to move to addition and subtraction from left to right. So the first thing I hit is 10 plus 100. So I'm going to combine those. I'm going to get 110 minus 1. Final answer is 109. Okay? Next, number 29. Okay? It gives us 10 centimeters plus 100 millimeters. They want the answer in millimeters. So this one's okay because it's already in millimeters, but this one needs to change. Okay? 10 centimeters is the same thing as 100 millimeters, so now I'm going to combine 100 millimeters and and 100 millimeters, I'm going to get 200 millimeters. Okay, that's the A part. And then, whoops, I forgot to do the B part, I think. 300 books divided by 30 students. 300 books divided by 30 students. Okay? Now most of the time you'll see this written like this. 300 books divided by 30 students. Now 300 divided by 30 gives us 10. Now my books and my students don't cancel, so I have to keep them both. 10 books per student. Okay? 10 books per student. Okay? I hope you did well. If you missed something, I hope you understand why. If not, you can send me an email. You can call the school and ask to speak to me. Okay? And we can explain it. Okay? The rest of your work for today, I think you have some practice problems on Delta Math, and there's going to be a video showing you how to do our next lesson. Okay? See you later.